Greetings, salutations, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, where our final quarterfinal on the women's side of the 2024 South Atlantic Conference Basketball Championships is set to take place. It's the third-seeded Carson-Newman Eagles against the sixth-seeded Anderson Trojans. And what an interesting one this was. The region rankings have not yet come out for this week. At some point here in the next couple hours, we'll be able to put eyes on those. But in the last one, Anderson was second in the region but sixth in the league. Carson-Newman was fourth in the region, third in the league. And so you've got two of the top four teams in the region taking on one another here in the quarterfinals of the South Atlantic Conference Tournament Championship. Of course, you're going to have one of those matchups with as loaded as the Women's Basketball League is here in the South Atlantic Conference. But this one, easily a matchup that you could see here in a couple weeks at the NCAA Southeast Regional. Teams split the regular season meetings with Anderson winning in the Abney Center 82-69 and Carson-Newman rallying from a 15-point deficit for an 84-79 win in Holt Fieldhouse. Teams have met in the last two seasons in the South Atlantic Conference Tournament. Anderson ousted Carson-Newman last year in the quarterfinals, 72-64 in Holt Fieldhouse. That was when it was by division. Trojans were the fourth seed out of the Piedmont, Eagles the top seed out of the Mountain. And Anderson defeated Carson-Newman on its way to a runner-up finish in the SAC championships. It was Carson-Newman prevailing. In 2022, 83-58, Eagles ran away with it in the SAC title game. Carson-Newman has lost in the quarterfinals in two of the last four seasons. Eagles are on a quarterfinal exit, win a championship seesaw. If that trend were to continue, Eagles would hoist the trophy at the end of this thing. Anderson, meanwhile, has been the bridesmaid. They've been the runner-up three of the last 4 years, won the title in 2019, haven't lost in the quarters in 7 years. Jonathan Barbary, Mike Mincy, two highly capable women's college basketball coaches, matching wits here in the first round. Starting lineups for Anderson, who you would expect at this stage in the season. First team All-SAC performer Diamond McDowell has 13 double-doubles this year and 34 for her career, averaging 16.9 points and 10.1 rebounds per game. Joined on the floor by another nightly double-double. That's Nalia Wilson, 12 and 10 a night, 10 double-doubles on the year. The guards, Ashlyn Sheridan, out of Farragut High School in Carson-Newman's backyard in Knoxville, Tennessee. Brittany Stafford, who starts a 29th straight game this season. And Zamaya Passmore, transfer out of Lander with nearly 1,650 career points. Carson-Newman utilizes the lineup of Michaela Alvey, Tori Rutherford, Braylon Weichel, Campbell Pinland, and Lindsay Taylor. Weichel and Taylor, both first-team All-SAC performers. Weichel is the league's second all-time leading scorer, 2,614 points for Braylon Weichel. Lindsay Taylor is in the jump circle. She's joined by Anderson's Diamond McDowell, and we are set for basketball. Here from the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. Kayla Alvey wins the tip, and the Eagles start out on offense. Two highest scoring teams in the SAC going toe-to-toe today. Weichel, pick and pop three from the right point, and she connects from range. Braylon Weichel snaps the strings with career three, 353. Her 94th of the season, a school record. And the Eagles are up 3-0. Elbow jumper off the mark from Sheridan, but she's tapped, a whistle and a foul. Charge that to Michaela Alvey. First on Alvey, first on the Eagles. And Ashlyn Sheridan heads to the line, 85% shooter for the year. Missed 6 free throws all season. Make it 7 as it rims off the front side, no good. So an 0 of 1 start for Ashlyn Sheridan. Second one, rims out right side. Got a lane violation. Try it again. So Sheridan bends the knees, puts it up. That one's long off the heel. Penland goes up for the rebound for the Eagles. Alvey into the front court. Slips Weichel head of the key. Weichel start and stop move on Passmore. Gets inside to the right block, lays it up and draws a foul. Braylon Weichel takes it right at the SAC newcomer of the year, and Passmore is charged with her first. First on the Trojans. And Braylon Weichel heads to the line for 2 free throws. Weichel's first is through nothing but strings. There is a weakness for Carson-Newman this year. It's free throw shooting. Eagles 68.6% on the year. 2 of 2 trip. Weichel swells it to 5. First 5 belong to the Eagles. Trojans set up shop against the Eagles' man-to-man defense. Lob to McDowell. One dribble, step back from the free throw line, strokes it from 16. High-level shot making from Diamond McDowell makes it a 3-point game. Taylor at the elbow. Feeds Penland, bounce feed Alvey, right block, twists in, layups off the mark. Taylor scrapping for the rebound, but she can only deflect it out of bounds on McDowell, and it's back to the Trojans. 3-point lead for Carson-Newman early. Trojans, Sheridan. Left around the screen, into the paint, floats from 10 and gets the roll off the back iron. First points for Sheridan. Carson-Newman scored the first 5. Anderson scored the last 4. 1-point game. High-low action to Taylor. Rolls to the bucket on Wilson. Gets stripped going up with a lot of contact. Hard collision as Wilson grabs her mouth. Still Carson-Newman ball. Officials call for time. And they say time called for. Wilson is by the bench and is getting some gauze stuffed into her mouth. I'm not sure if she lost a tooth or not in that exchange. Anderson gets 15 seconds to get Wilson adjusted without having to bring her out. The officiating crew counts it down. Anderson sports medicine staff says it's now or never, so bringing a sub. So in comes Olivia Johnigan for the Trojans. Rutherford gets it into Weichel in the corner, tipped out of her hands by Passmore, and it stays with the Eagles. The second comes off. Teams split the regular season meetings with the home team prevailing each time on the neutral floor. Alvey measures a left point 3, off the mark. Rutherford an offensive rebound. Possession continues. Penland straight on, head of the key 3. That's off to the left. McDowell gobbles up the rebound, gets it ahead to Passmore. Passmore stripped by Penland, Weichel to steal. 2-on-1. Weichel pulls from the right elbow. 15-footer, knocks it down. Braylon Weichel has 7 for Carson-Newman. He's scored every point thus far for the Eagles. Scored in 45 on her senior day against Mars Hill as Stafford hits a free throw line jumper. Stafford with her first points. That's back down to a 1-point game. Alvey, high-low action to Taylor. She catches, gets by Jonigan, and lays it in. Nice feed by Michaela Alvey. Quality finish by Taylor on the high-low lob. 3-point Carson-Newman lead. Trojans, hot start. They're 3 for 3 from the field to open up. Passmore, keyhole jumper, good from 17. Anderson firing punch for punch, makes it a 1-point game again. Carson-Newman on the offensive glass. Eagles haven't had an empty possession yet. Alvey, high post for Taylor. Faces the basket on Jonigan. Moves inside on her, turns, left-hand hook, won't go down. McDowell grabs the rebound for the gold-clad Trojans. McDowell, right wing, step back three over top of Pinland. That's off the mark. First miss from the field for the Trojans. Carson-Newman by 1. Extra pass, Rutherford. Open look, left point. Rutherford cans it. Tori Rutherford stretches it to 4. Eagles scored the first 5. Trojans scored the next 4. We've been back and forth ever since. Anderson looking for an answer. Sheridan tries a triple and connects. Eagles sprint the other way by 1. Weichel for Taylor. Back it out, Pinland. High hand there, Sheridan. Drives, layup, partially blocked, tipped around. Passmore this comes away with it. 3-on-2, Passmore to the hoop. Blocked by Rutherford. Weichel takes it away. Weichel hunting an open 3. Weichel online but strong. Pinland lost the rebound to Sheridan. 3-on-2 the other way. McDowell cuts to the cup. Right hand, not enough English to spin it in. Alvey recovers the rebound. Rutherford, left wing, open again. Missed it off to the left. Passmore slams in the rebound. Eagles a couple of good open looks there, haven't gotten them to fall. Anderson 63% from the field to start this game, but trailing by 1 to an Eagle team that's 4 of 11. Carson-Newman's hit the threes in this one, though, and gotten to the free throw line. Passmore. 10 to shoot. Working on Rutherford. Skips it left wing for Stafford. Back to Passmore. The drive. An arm bar. A whistle on a foul on Tori Rutherford brings us to a break in the action. First on Rutherford, second on the Eagles. 4:44 to play in the first. Carson-Newman with a 12-11 lead on the Trojans in a matchup of the 2 highest scoring teams in the SAC.
Sure, we've been around a while. 171 years to be exact. Founded on the banks of a creek. This creek, Mossy Creek. We know a few things. We know the power of a liberal arts-based education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus. Within this community, we are found here and here and here and here and also here in the classroom, on the field. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
We are
family on a journey of discovery.
I found my passion. I found my calling.
I found family.
I found a way to lead. I found a place to call my own.
I found purpose.
There's something for everyone.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
One semifinal has already been set tomorrow at noon. Catawba will take on Wingate in a 1-versus-4 matchup. The winner of this one between the Eagles and Trojans gets the second-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne Bears tomorrow at 2:30. Carson-Newman jumped out to a 5-0 lead. They've maintained it, but Anderson can grab their first lead of the day on this possession. Stafford at the charity stripe. Jab step, takes a tough 2. Grazes iron. Rogers saves in the rebound, but to McDowell. McDowell, reverse layup. Tickles in off the window. Anderson has its first lead. Trojans up 13-12, 4:25 to go in the opening quarter. Taylor, Gonzalez, Rogers, Boshears, and Weichel for the Eagles. Gonzalez dribbles inside and walks with the basketball. Turnover number 2 for Carson-Newman. Ball back to Anderson. Eagles haven't scored in 2 minutes. Carson-Newman has started 4 of 12 from the field compared to Anderson, who's shooting 60%. And the Trojans knocking down some lengthy twos to open up this game. Stafford finds a cutting Sheridan. Corner 3 from Passmore. Won't fall in off the front of the 10. Weichel the rebound. Weichel pulls from the charity stripe. That won't fall. Whistle, foul, battling for the rebound. This is on Emily Gonzalez. First one on Gonzalez, third on the Eagles in the period. Carson-Newman has missed its last 4 shots and hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Anderson's taken advantage to grab its first lead. Sheridan for Wilson at the free throw line. Over to Passmore on the wing. Inside it goes. There's a whistle and a foul. Wilson tripped over a fallen Brittany Stafford. The foul is on Lindsay Taylor. Away from the ball. Her first, and the 4th on Carson-Newman. The Passmore will trigger. Wilson. Touch it downstairs to McDowell. Draws 2 to the ball. Wilson, right block, blocked out of bounds by Gonzalez. Wilson had the size advantage, but Gonzalez at 5'8" with the active hands to deflect it out. Inbounds to Stafford for a corner long 2. Rogers corrals. Boshears skips it for Rogers. Another skip for Gonzalez. She wants a 3. Halfway down and out, McDowell the board. Eagles have missed 5 in a row, haven't scored in 3 minutes. Passmore, 15-footer won't drop. Gonzalez the rebound in traffic. Eagles get a stop. They can retake the lead on this possession. Carson-Newman hasn't scored in 3 minutes. Missed their last 5. Rogers cutting to the cup. Stripped from behind by Passmore, but she got her with the body. Big second personal for the SAC newcomer of the year, Zamaya Passmore. The Lander transfer picks up her second and the team's second. Passmore exits in favor of Peyton Oliver. So note that, 2:49 in the first quarter when Zamaya Passmore exits. And Rogers ties it at 13, first Eagle points in 3.5 minutes. Rogers' second free throw grazes the iron. McDowell grabs the miss. These teams have hit a bit of an offensive swoon. Trojans, one of their last 8. Eagles, one of their last 7. It's a 13-13 ball game, 2:34 to play in the first. Stafford zips inside for McDowell. Backs down Rogers, turns into the lane, shoots with the right hand, clanks it off to the left. Gonzalez shoved from behind by Stafford, going for the board. Stafford's first, with a third on Anderson. The SAC newcomer of the year, Zamaya Passmore, on the bench for Anderson with 2 fouls. Eagles trying to take advantage. Carson-Newman hasn't made a shot from the field in 4 minutes. Anderson hasn't scored in 2 minutes. You can find their offensive footing first. Rogers. Boshears on the wing. Inside out action, Knuckles kicking around Gonzalez. Gonzalez flips it to Rogers. Back inside Gonzalez, 3 on the shot clock. Rogers pulls from the head of the key. The 3 swirls in. Keely Rogers, just her 3rd 3 of the season. An 8% shooter puts Carson-Newman back in front. 16-13 with 100 seconds left in the quarter. McDowell goes to work downstairs. Out to Oliver, head of the key. Sheridan curling. Jumper from 17 won't drop. Weichel the rebound. Eagles up by 3, looking for more after that drought. Weichel drives inside. Wilson blocks it. And the rebound tapped to McDowell. Good presence inside by Nelia Wilson. McDowell weaving to the hole, finishes in transition. Too easy for Diamond McDowell. She's got 6. 1 point lead for Carson-Newman. That stops a 3-minute Anderson scoring drought. Knuckles. Dribble handoff for Gonzalez. Gonzalez spins inside on Oliver. Fades and connects over top of McDowell. Quality one-on-one effort for Emily Gonzalez. 3-point lead for Carson-Newman. Inside Wilson, nice feed for an easy 2. Back to a 1-point game. Waning stages of the first quarter. Tapped out of bounds by Sheridan, stays with Carson-Newman. Shot clock is off. 22.2 to play, opening stanza. O'Shears. Rogers on the right wing. Gonzalez in the corner, back to Rogers. Wants another triple. Rogers left it strong. Battle for the rebound and a whistle and a foul on Lindsay Taylor. Well, there's another big one. The second on Carson-Newman's first team all-sack post. 5th team foul on the Eagles. So Anderson gets Taylor in foul trouble and gets 2 free throws to boot. Granted, they come from Nelia Wilson, who has been inconsistent at the line in her career. She is shooting a career best 47.6% at the stripe, but lifetime she is a 43% shooter. Anderson makes some wholesale changes. Cooper in, Redzika in, and Maggie Campbell in for the Trojans. A little respite here late for Jonathan Barbary's starters, as Wilson's first is in. She has improved her stroke over the years, has Nelia Wilson. Southpaw bends the knees, puts the second one up for the lead, and gets the roll. 2-2 trip for Nelia Wilson in the 19-18 lead for Anderson. Carson-Newman gets the final shot of the frame. Gonzalez behind the back, kicks Rogers, head of the key, launches the 3, and grazes the rim to close the first quarter. Key foul trouble for 2 stars. SAC Newcomer of the Year, Zamaya Passmore with 2 for the Trojans. First team all-SAC post, Lindsay Taylor with 2 for the Eagles. First quarter ends with a 1-point Anderson lead. 2 ties, 3 lead changes, and a back-and-forth first quarter. We're back after this. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports. Anderson by 1 to open up the second quarter, and the Trojans get the ball out of the break in our final women's quarterfinal of the tournament. Redzika pulling for a right wing 3, back of the 10, no good. Rutherford the rebound as Alvey takes a tumble. Rutherford turns around and hits Knuckles in the corner. Pendlin cutting to the cup, draws a foul on McDowell. Kayla Alvey getting herself sorted out as McDowell picks up her first. First on Anderson of the period. Let's see if the Eagles elect to take it into the teeth of McDowell and try to pick up that second personal on her. Pinland for Weichel. Oliver sticks to her. Weichel step back, free throw line. Jay rims off left side. Alvey punched the rebound out of McDowell's grasp. The Trojans corral. Stafford pivots and hits Oliver. Bounce feed back to Stafford. Lob inside Wilson. Backs down Knuckles. Can't connect from point blank range. Rutherford grabs her second rebound. Eagles can retake the lead on this possession. Pinland. Knuckles show and go. A little too much show, not enough go. She walks. Turnover number 3 for Carson-Newman. Thus far, Eagles not pressing Anderson. Part of that, Zamaya Passmore really successful against the press in Holt Fieldhouse when she scored 28. McDowell goes to work downstairs, shoots over top of Pinland. Can't hit the bunny. Alvey the board. Pinland works it to Rutherford, around to Alvey. Pinland, the drive on Wilson, gets her shot blocked out of bounds and stays with Carson-Newman. Mike Mincy pleading for a foul. Ashlyn Sheridan's back in, replacing Martina Radzika. Rutherford gets it into Weichel. Takes it into the lane, backs it out around to Alvey. Weichel scoreless since she scored the first 7 of the day for Carson-Newman. 3 on the shot clock. Weichel heaves it up high off the window. A shot clock violation. It doesn't touch rim. No score here in the second. We've played 2 minutes of scoreless basketball. Teams have combined 0 of 5 from the field. Trojans trying to take advantage and extend a 1-point lead. Sheridan stripped by Alvey. She gets called for a walk. Shuffled her steps before the strip. Anderson gives it away for a second time. Eagles a slight edge on the glass. Anderson a slight edge in turnovers as Rutherford bangs her way down on the right block and gets it to go through contact. First points of the second quarter put the Eagles back on top. 20-19, 7:20 to play in the second quarter. McDowell backing down Pinland, gets help defense from Weichel, floats it up, touch strong. Pinland corrals. Pinland into the lane. Weichel, free throw line, Jay, good from 15. First points of the quarter for the league's second all-time leading scorer. Weichel has 9, and it's back to a 3-point Eagle lead. Carson-Newman scored the first 5. Anderson's grabbed a couple of 1-point leads, but it's been a tight contest here in Rock Hill. McDowell banging her way inside, called for steps. Good hands-up defense by Campbell Pinland. Helping cause the travel. Eagles have scored the first 4 of the period to grab a 3-point lead. Rutherford, Weichel, mid-range jumper, off the mark. McDowell the rebound. Diamond McDowell, already 6 rebounds, on the hunt for her 35th double-double of her career. Sheridan, left wing, triple, splashes in. Ashlyn Sheridan has 8 points to pace Anderson. She knots it at 22. Eagles the other way. Knuckles, head of the key, tries the triple and answers. Maddie Knuckles, her third 3 of the season. Back to a 3-point Eagle lead. A couple of atypical 3-point shooters making shots for the Eagles as Stafford misses that one. Second chance. Oliver, right wing triple. Missed it off to the right. Third chance after Stafford grabs the rebound. She tries a left corner 3. That's off the mark. Rutherford the board. Weichel, drive, cut off, kick. Alvey, right wing 3. That's no good. Knuckles tips the rebound. Alvey keeps it alive. Knuckles, left hand, flips it in. Largest lead match for Carson-Newman off of Maddie Knuckles' stick-to-itiveness. She's got 5. Talking about non-3-point shooters hitting for the Eagles. Maddie Knuckles has hit her third three of the season. She's 3 for 19. Keely Rogers, her third three. She's 3 for 26. Wilson banging inside, can't get it to go at the cup. Rogers, a third rebound, or Rutherford, a third rebound, pardon me. Knuckles hits a cutting Weichel. Weichel blocked by McDowell. Oliver open in the corner for a three ball. She answers and stops an 0-4 string. 27-25, Eagles by 2. Alvey. Knuckles wants another one. Knuckles, the heat check off the mark. Brings us to a break. 4:21 to play in the second. Carson-Newman outscoring the Trojans 9-6 in the period. Anderson 0 for 6 inside the three-point arc in the frame. Eagles by 2. Back after this. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our...
Adam Cavalier, glad to have you alongside here in the Palmetto State for our final women's quarterfinal of the SAC Basketball Championships. The third-seeded Eagles of Carson-Newman by 2 on the 6th-seeded Anderson Trojans. Winner of this one's pretty much guaranteed a spot in the NCAA tournament, as Wilson misses against Knuckles, gets her own miss and shoves it in off glass. 5 in a row for Anderson to erase what was Carson-Newman's largest lead. Pinlan tripped, and is this a third personal on Zamaya Passmore? It is. A risky proposition for Jonathan Barbary. He put the SAC Newcomer of the Year back in with 2 fouls, and she promptly picks up her third. Second on the Trojans for the quarter. So Rutherford to trigger. Swings to Boshears. Rutherford. Alvey. Floater from the lane. Tickles the twine. First points for Michaela Alvey. Eagles retake the lead. In the seesaw battle here at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center. 4 ties, 4 lead changes as Alvey pilfers it. 2-on-1, Alvey. Touch too far for Rutherford, who has to peel it back. Alvey, floater, right baseline, in and out. Mbugwa taps the rebound. Boshears pokes it loose, and it's last touched by a Trojan. Stays with Carson-Newman. Rogers works inside on McDowell. Flip it for Boshears for a free throw line, Jay. Mbugwa pushed aside by Wilson, battling for the rebound. First personal on Wilson. Third team foul on the Trojans. Elia Wilson with her first. As Weichel re-enters for Carson-Newman. League's second all-time leading scorer with 9. To lead all scorers today. Sheridan sticks to Weichel like glue. 8 on the shot clock. Weichel into the paint. Floats Alvey. Open look from deep. Alvey rims it out to the left side. Rogers and Maggie Campbell tied up. Jump ball. Arrow belongs to the Eagles. Lengthy possession here for Carson-Newman. As of yet, the Eagles have come up empty on it. Fourth shot on this trip down the floor for Carson-Newman. Alvey coasting to the cup, misses it strong. Rogers taps the rebound, out of bounds. After 4 shots, the possession comes to a close for Carson-Newman. 2-point lead for the Eagles. Carson-Newman's one of its last 7 from the field, but a number elevated by the 4 missed shots on the single possession for the Eagles. Left wing, here's a 3 from Stafford, and she barely moves the strings. First 3 made for Stafford. Trojans are 4 of 8. They're back in front, 30-29. Weichel trying to answer. Short, Alvey mishandles the rebound. Campbell nearly lost it out of bounds, but maintained her footing. McDowell in transition, gliding to the rim. She finishes and one. Diamond McDowell, smooth as silk, has given Anderson its first 3-point lead of the day. With an and one opportunity, she can make it a 4-point game. Trojans have made their last 3 shots from the field after starting 2 of 11 in the period. McDowell to the line, where she's a 72% shooter. Calmly connects. Anderson up by 4 for the first time tonight. It's been tight, 4 ties, 5 lead changes. Carson-Newman has led for the majority of it, but Anderson by no means has ever been down big. Rogers, one dribble, hits Weichel at the head of the key. Weichel, bounce feed inside Mbuga. Spins in, kicks Alvey, baseline jumper, good from 15. 4 for Alvey, back to a 2-point Anderson lead. That pumps the brakes on a 6-0 Trojan run. Really the only run to speak of. Equal. Inside, Wilson flips it up, no. Punched over, Weichel grabs it. Carson-Newman can tie with the 2. Alvey attacks, pulls up, left of the lane, and hits. Back-to-back buckets for Michaela Alvey. She's scored the last 4, and this game is tied for a 5th time. 5 ties, 5 lead changes, all square at 33. Stafford answers from the elbow. Pinland, open in transition from deep. Pinland strokes it. First points for Campbell Pinland. And the Eagles seesaw back in front. 36-35, Carson-Newman by a point. Stafford down inside, gets it to Sheridan for an open look. Halfway down and out, Rogers the rebound, and then she gets fouled. This goes on equal. Sophomore picks up her first. 4th on Anderson. Foul to give for Anderson, so no free throws for the Eagles. 1-point lead, and Carson-Newman can play for the final shot in the period. Carson-Newman has made its last 3 to retake the lead after falling down by 4. Weichel around a double screen, pops from the elbow, misfires from 15. Mbuga saves it in. Alvey at the horn, won't drop. And that is how the first half comes to a close. An entertaining one in the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center in our final women's quarterfinal. Neither team led by more than 5 in the first half. That was Carson-Newman in the opening seconds. And it has been pretty much a one-possession game throughout. 5 ties, 6 lead changes, back and forth basketball here at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. It's halftime. Back after this. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports.
We've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. Founded on the banks of a creek. This creek, Mossy Creek. We know a few things. We know the power of a liberal arts-based education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus. Within this community, we are found here and here and here and here and also here in the classroom, on the field. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are family on a journey of discovery.
I found my passion. I found my calling.
I found family.
I found a way to lead. I found a place to call my own.
I found purpose.
There's something for everyone.
We are.
We are.
We are Carson-Newman.
What will you find?
Back for the start of the second half for our fourth and final women's quarterfinal in the SAC Championships. Adam Cavalier, happy to have you on hand. Our director-producer today is Donald Carroll, who continues to amaze. He's got 2 keyboards, he's got 2 monitors, he's got 2 mice, and I don't know how he does what he does. His brain is divided in 2 to be able to operate the controls the way he does. We're glad that you have elected to spend part of your Wednesday with us as the South Atlantic Conference moves to decide its tournament champion. Half the semifinal field is set. It's been all chalk so far. Catawba versus Wingate at noon tomorrow, 1 versus 4. The second-seeded Lenore-Ryan Bears await the winner of this one. Both Carson-Newman and Anderson highly regionally ranked. A loss by either team. It's a long time to wait till Selection Sunday, but probably in decent enough stead to make the NCAA tournament. Wilson, nice cut for Passmore through the middle of the lane, and Anderson's back in front. Alvey. Floater from the stripe. Missed it short. McDowell snares the rebound. Passmore goes to work inside for Wilson, twisting in. She missed the layup on Taylor, who was then bumped by Stafford. Stafford picks up her second. First on the Trojans. Well, Anderson has missed some point-blank shots in this one. Granted, Carson-Newman's created walls. There have been some layups that haven't gone down for the Trojans that you would typically expect to. Inside-out action, Alvey. The 3 airballed, well defended by McDowell. And it's back to Anderson. Offense has been a bit at a premium in this facility. Catawba raced past UVA Wise in the first game of the tournament. And since then, it has been tough to come by scoring as it rims out. Wilson saves in the rebound, but Rutherford controls. 2-on-1. Rutherford hits Weichel. Back to Rutherford. Anderson settles into its half-court defense. Penland open from the head of the key. She connects. 6 for Penland. 6th made 3 of the game for Carson-Newman. Wilson goes to work inside on Taylor. Spins in, can't hit the layup. He was trying to extend a 2-point lead. Largest lead in this game for either team has been 5. That was Carson-Newman to start the game on a 5-0 run. Alvey high-low. Taylor catches and finishes off balance. 4 for Lindsay Taylor. Alvey, her second assist. Carson-Newman scored 5 straight. Sheridan looks inside for Wilson. Tilts it around to McDowell. McDowell shoots the 3. Taylor, a 3rd board. Weichel. Pick and pop 3. Weichel halfway down and out. Wilson the board for the Trojans. Passmore dribbled it off her foot. Taylor didn't see it and only reacts once it hits her feet. Penland, nice feed to a cutting Alvey, who floats it in off the window. 7 straight for the Eagles, and Carson-Newman has the biggest lead of the day for either team. Passmore settling into the half court. Stafford from the elbow. She's off the mark. Anderson hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. Alvey in transition. Works in on Wilson and draws a foul. Second on Wilson, second on the Trojans. 2 free throws for Michaela Alvey. Anderson made its first shot of the period, but hasn't made any since. Trojans have missed 5 in a row and haven't scored in 3 minutes. Michaela Alvey is at the line for Carson-Newman, trying to extend this 7-0 run. But she does, making the first free throw. 8 straight for the Eagles. This is the longest run we've seen, or the second longest run we've seen since the opening game of the tournament against Catawba. Wingate went on a 13-0 run against LMU in the last game. Alvey pokes it away. It has been tough for teams to string together points in this gym, and that is true for both men's and women's games so far. All rolled back to the locker room, down the tunnel, and they don't need the backup ball. Taylor steals away the inbounds pass. Anderson's drought continues. Eagles have scored the last 9 to take an 8-point lead. Penland called for steps, though. And Carson-Newman turns it over for a 5th time. So one turnover begets another. And Anderson will try to pop the seal on this trip. Missed 5 straight. Turned it over twice in this stretch. Stafford from the free throw stripe. Missed it long. Alvey scuffles for her 6th rebound. Penland accelerating. Pass shared into the cup. Doesn't get the roll. Stafford collects the carom at the line. Bounce feed ahead, McDowell. She misses the layup in transition. Penland for Taylor at the bucket for 2. Timeout, Jonathan Barbary. Carson-Newman is surging. 11 straight for the Eagles to take the first double-digit lead of the game. 47-37, Eagles in control as we step aside for a break. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports.
The legacy began in 1973. That was the year NCAA Division II was born. And since the very first day, our division has shaped generations of student athletes with a true sense of academics, athletics, and community. That is 5 decades of graduations, championships, teamwork, and personal development. 50 years of shaping student athletes into world-class leaders. NCAA Division II. Our division, our legacy.
Carson-Newman has rattled off 11 straight while the Trojans haven't scored in 4 minutes. Anderson made its first shot of the period and has missed 7 straight since. McDowell inside for Wilson. Bangs inside on Taylor and gets the roll off the window. That stops an 11-0 Eagle run. And a 4-minute Trojan scoring drought. Penland takes it to the wing, takes it inside on Wilson, fires up a shot, draws contact to the foul. 2 free throws for Campbell Penland after putting a 3rd personal on Aliyah Wilson. 3rd team foul on Anderson. Trojans having to play somewhat conservatively with foul trouble to Zamiah Passmore, who picked up 3 in the first half. Penland rolls in the first free throw. Now a 2nd player in foul trouble for Jonathan Barbary's group. 2nd free throw. Penland rattles it in. 13-2 run for the Eagles. Back up by double digits. Wilson. McDowell weaving around down the right block. Penland stripped the ball out, but she got her with the body. That's a first personal on Penland. A first foul on the Eagles this period. And it brings us to another break. Carson-Newman leading by double digits Eagles have taken control with a 13-2 run, aided by a 4-minute Anderson scoring drought. Back to Rock Hill after these messages. This is Sack Live on Flow Sports. .4:55 to go in the third quarter. Carson-Newman up by 10. As the third-seeded Eagles trying to make it all chalk onto the semifinals as McDowell converts at the charity stripe. McDowell, a walking double-double and first-team All-SAC performer, has 10 points now and make it 11 as she cans the second. 11 points, 8 rebounds as Rutherford's pass ahead is stolen away by Stafford. McDowell mishandles out of bounds, and it's back to the Eagles. So one turnover begets another. 6th and 8th giveaways. 6th for Carson-Newman, 8th for Anderson. Pass all the way ahead for Taylor. Bounces to Alvey for the easy 2. Eagles beat Anderson's press with a long pass. Alvey has 12. To pace Carson-Newman. Back to a 10-point Eagle lead. Stafford swings for Sheridan. Lob inside, Wilson spins on Taylor. Doesn't hit the leaner, but she does draw a foul. Who is this on? Could be a third on Lindsay Taylor, and it is. So Carson-Newman's first-team All-SAC post draws her third, much to the ire of the orange and blue faithful in attendance. Elia Wilson lifts up the first, and it's off the front of the rim. Best she can do is make it a 9-point game with 4:12 to play in the third. Wilson. Couple more dribbles, puts it up. That one's short as well. A rebound, Penland and McDowell battling for it. McDowell wins the battle. Second chance for the Trojans to chip away at this double-digit Eagle lead. Passmore will pop for a 3 and miss it off the back of the rim. Alvey, a 7th rebound. In transition ahead to Rutherford. Rutherford pumps the brakes. High-low to Taylor. Goes inside on Wilson, scoops it in with the right. 8 for Lindsay Taylor. A third assist for Michaela Alvey, and Carson-Newman has its biggest lead of the day at 12. A turnover, Taylor a steal. Rutherford. Look for the high-low, not there. Reset it with Weichel. Alvey inside to Taylor. One-on-one, walks. 7th turnover for the Eagles. Ball back to Anderson. Carson-Newman has outscored Anderson 17-6 in the quarter. Trojans are 2 for 10 from the field in the period. Oliver sends it. Rutherford playing the passing lane, collides with Passmore and picks up her second. Third on the Eagles. Rutherford commits the harm. Ball stays with Anderson, down by 12. Passmore into the lane for McDowell, a corner 3. Nearly banked in. Penland gobbles up the rebound. Weichel cut off by McDowell. 2 of the all-time greats in this league going toe-to-toe. Taylor, reverse layup, doesn't hit, but she draws a 4th personal on Elia Wilson. Fourth team foul on the Trojans. So Lindsay Taylor to the line, where she has improved her free throw game. 67% shooter as a senior. For her career, she's at 59%. Taylor's first is through, nothing but net. The lead is 13 for the Eagles. Anderson hasn't scored in 2.5 minutes. And a 4-minute drought and a 2.5-minute drought this period as Taylor misfires on the second. 2 for 11 from the field in the quarter, while the Eagles are 6 of 10. Separating third for Carson-Newman. Sheridan, left wing triple. She snaps the skid. Sheridan with 11 points, the second Trojan into double figures, and it's back down to a 10-point game. High-low action. Taylor goes to work and dumps in on top of Cooper. 12-point lead for the Eagles. Lindsay Taylor, second Eagle into double figures with 11. Sheridan wants another three, and she connects. Tongue out in celebration. It's a 9-point game. Alvey, the drive, and the finish. Michaela Alvey pacing Carson-Newman with 14. Business starting to pick up here. Passmore into the corner, finds McDowell for mid-range. Penland corrals for her fifth. Weichel working on Sheridan. Crosses over, bounces to Alvey. Nearly trickles out of bounds. Alvey saved it but stepped on the sideline, and the Eagles turn it over for an 8th time in the game and a 4th time this quarter. Eagles by 11. They've outscored the Trojans 22-12 in the period. Cooper off glass for 2. Rutherford ahead to Alvey. Crossover, reverse layup with the right hand, finds the bottom of the barrel. Eagles attacking the basket. There's no help side defense coming right now for the Trojans. 11-point lead for the Eagles. Cooper over top of Taylor for 2. Back-to-back buckets for Cooper. Playing in place of Wilson in foul trouble. Rutherford dribbling around for a corner 3. Cooper and Taylor tied up, but no whistle. Passmore in transition, down by 9. Spins around, hits Cooper cutting. Taylor spikes it, but caught her on the arm. Lindsay Taylor lining up an attack from the 10-foot line. She picks up a costly 4th personal, team's 4th. So Taylor will exit. 2 pretty stout posts, and Wilson and Taylor in foul trouble with 4 apiece. And Jessica Cooper, some rare free throws. She's 1 of 3 at the line, as Peyton Oliver is sitting beside the Anderson bench, getting her legs worked out. And so Oliver is to her feet, and she's going to exit. So Brittany Stafford's back in for Anderson. (60-51). Carson-Newman by 9. They've been up by as many as 13. Both teams heating up. Trojans have made 4 of their last 5 after starting 2 of 11 in the period. Eagles 64% in the third, as Cooper makes the free throw. She's 2 for 4 at the line on the season now. Has not been there a bunch. Freshman out of South Plainfield, New Jersey. Shoots the second. Missed it short. Long rebound, Passmore. 8-point game. Shot clock is off. Anderson can play for the final shot of the period. Trojans trying to close it on a little mini run. Passmore around a double screen. Kicks, right corner. Stafford open look. She splashes it. Just like that, it's a 5-point game. Rutherford will heave at the half-court stripe, and she nearly banked it in. Anderson closes the third on a 6-0 run. And after the Eagles stormed out to a 13-point lead on an 11-0 burst, Anderson has answered the bell. We've got an interesting one here with 10 minutes left. We're back for the fourth quarter. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports. Final 10 minutes of our final SAC quarterfinal on the women's side. Carson-Newman a 60-55 lead on Anderson, but the Trojans have scored 6 straight to trim what was a 13-point Eagle lead, now down to 5. Both teams heating up. Carson-Newman 64% from the field after halftime. Weichel fires from the elbow, misses from 17. Stafford the rebound. Anderson running. Stafford weaves to the left wing. Hits Passmore. Head of the key, wants the triple. Back of the rim, no good. McDowell tips the rebound, but Weichel controls, spins, and walks. All back to Anderson after Carson-Newman's 9th turnover. Both teams with 9 giveaways. The Eagles are +4 on the glass. They just made 2 more shots than the Trojans. That's the difference. Cooper working inside on Knuckles. Chucks it up, chucks it in. Jessica Cooper has 6 points, a new career high. She'd scored 11 in her career coming into this game. Down to a 3-point lead after an 8-0 run. Alvey's layup's off the mark. Tipped out of bounds. It will stay with Carson-Newman. Rutherford will inbound from the left baseline. Weichel moves inside, steps back. Alvey, right wing, tries the 3. Alvey rattles it in. 19 for Michaela Alvey, a new career high for her, and it's back to a 6-point Eagle lead. Passmore answers, diving down the right side of the lane. 6 points for Passmore. She averaged 24 in the 2 meetings in the regular season. 4-point lead for the Eagles. Rutherford curling inside, the right hand will not fall. McDowell grabs her 10th board. Her double-double is in hand. Sheridan buries the 3. 1-point Carson-Newman lead. Eagles were up by 13, but Anderson has exploded with a 13-3 run to get within a point. Weichel dribbling baseline, pumps on McDowell, lays it high off the window, no. Follows her missing, does draw a foul. 2 free throws for Braylon Weichel. It's on Cooper, her first, the team's 5th. Anderson has made this rally since Lindsay Taylor exited with her 4th personal. She was shouldering the scoring load for the Eagles in the 3rd quarter as Weichel cans the first of 2. She's the 3rd Eagle into double figures with 10. Second one, that's true as well. 3-point Eagle lead. 65-62. Passmore brings it front court. McDowell working inside on Knuckles. Knuckles blocked it but got her with the body. 2 free throws for Diamond McDowell after Maddie Knuckles is charged with her first in the first of the quarter. 2 free throws for Diamond McDowell, who's perfect at the line today. 3 for 3, make it 4 for 4. 12 points and 10 rebounds for Diamond McDowell, her 35th double-double of her career. The second one rattles in. 1 point game. Carson-Newman led by 1 at the break. Not up by 13 in the third. Anderson has rallied. Pinland dribbling through traffic. Up and under move. The flip with the right hand. Falls in off the window. 10 for Campbell Pinland. And now a whistle. And a charge. Michaela Alvey draws the charge. The personal is on Passmore. That's her fourth. First on Anderson in the fourth quarter. Weichel dribbling around for Rogers. Pinland drives on Passmore, attacks the right player, playing with 4 fouls. Pinland scoots past her for an easy 2. 5-point Carson-Newman lead. Sheridan's had answers for Anderson. Do the Trojans go to her? Leading all scorers with 17, or leading all Trojans with 17. Sheridan's got it left wing. Whistle, foul on the floor, away from the ball. Keely Rogers is going to get called for a hook, and that is the case. First on Rogers, second on Carson-Newman. Shot clock resets to 20. Trojans get the ball out of bounds to the right of the basket. McDowell lobs for Cooper. Cooper fades. Strong. Weichel sneaks away her 7th rebound. Pinland in transition. Attacks Oliver. Floats it up. Missed. Got her own board. One dribble. Layup good. 14 for Campbell Pinland. After the Trojans got it down to 1, the Eagles have responded to stretch it to 7. Oliver from the corner. A 3 splashes in. Peyton Oliver from distance stops the 6-0 Eagle run with a triple. Weichel off to Alvey. She wants to answer. Missed it off the heel. Rogers an offensive board. Eagles reset. Shot clock at 12 as Sheridan pokes it away from Weichel, but to Pinland. Nice screen set by Knuckles. Gets Pinland to the basket, but Cooper thwarts her at the hole. Throws it away to Knuckles. Whistle, foul. Who is this on? McDowell took a tumble. And the officials are going to come together to chat this one over. Blocking foul called on McDowell. Get a second look at this play. It didn't look like anything nefarious by any stretch of the imagination. As the Eagles trigger into Weichel. Weichel drives, flips with the left hand, and it's good off the window. Back to a 6-point Eagle lead, 13 for Weichel. High low to Cooper. Spins on Rogers, floats it up, no. Loose ball, Knuckles will pick it up. Knuckles double dribbled, trying to get around McDowell. 10th turnover for Carson-Newman. Brings us to our final break. 5 minutes on the nose left in the fourth. Carson-Newman 73, Anderson 67. Carson-Newman contending with a 13-3 Anderson run before answering with a 6-0 burst of their own. We're back after this. This is SAC Live on Flow Sports. 5 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Winner of this one between third-seeded Carson-Newman and sixth-seeded Anderson advances to take on Lenore-Rhine. Adam Cavalier, happy to have you on hand from the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, where Carson-Newman utilized an 11-0 run in the third quarter to take control of what was a one-point game. Anderson responded with a 13-3 burst. Sheridan wants a left wing three, airballed it. It's out of bounds, back to Carson-Newman. Sheridan, just her second miss from deep. She was 5 of 6 from beyond the arc prior to that one. Eagles work front court. Weichel working on Sheridan, drives on her to the basket. A whistle and an offensive foul on Braylon Weichel. Said that she led with the forearm on Sheridan, and it's Weichel's first and the third on the Eagles. Back to still a 6-point game. Anderson looking for answer points. They're 4 of 8 from the field in the quarter. Passmore works inside on Alvey, double clutches and connects. 4-point game, 73-69 with 4:12 to play in the fourth. Weichel stops at the head of the key and hands off to Rogers. Rogers starting stop, kick, Knuckles, corner three, Knuckles halfway down and out. Alvey taps it into the corner. Last touched, I thought by Alvey. Yes, indeed by Alvey. Couple empty possessions here for the Eagles. Door ajar for the Trojans. Passmore. Crossover on Alvey. Baseline drive. Floater air ball, but she's fouled. Charge this to whom? It's on Knuckles, her second. Fourth on the Eagles. Anderson shooting free throws the rest of the way. Trojans a foul to give here in the fourth, as Cooper exits, performing admirably, with Nalia Wilson on the bench with 4 personals. Cooper a career-high 7 points on 3 of 5 shooting. Passmore's first free throw gets the roll. One more free throw to make it a 2-point game. Second one is true. 2-point game. 3:40 to play, fourth quarter. Eagles answer a 13-3 Anderson run with a 6-0 burst to take it out to 7. Trojans have whittled it back down to 2. Backdoor cut, Alvey lost the handle on it. Wilson steals it. A 2 ties it, a 3 puts Anderson in front. Stafford brings it between the rings. 3 turnovers for the Eagles in the last 2 minutes. McDowell steps back, bounce feed inside. Wilson doesn't hit it. Alvey the board, outlets it to Rutherford. 2-point lead for the Eagles. Pinland off to Weichel. Eagles in need of ball security. They haven't scored in nearly 2.5 minutes. Rutherford, high low to Taylor. She catches. She lays it up and in past Wilson. Wilson stranded on an island against Lindsay Taylor, and Taylor's got 13. Back to a 2-possession lead for the Eagles with 2:35 to play in the fourth. Wilson banging inside. Pinland stripped her. Oh, pardon me, that's McDowell. Long 2, Sheridan airballs it. Might as well be a pass to Wilson, who lays it up and in. A look what I found bucket for Wilson, who's got 10. 75-73. Carson-Newman by 2. 2 minutes and change left in the fourth quarter. Taylor working inside on Wilson. Spins left, left-hand leaner, missed it. Alvey an offensive rebound, passes out to Taylor. Eagles reset with under 2 to play. Alvey, lob Taylor, give back to Alvey, drives on Wilson, blocks it out of bounds, deflects off of Alvey as she falls out. It's Anderson ball. Trojans looking to tie. A 3 would give him the lead. Buried 9 so far today. Stafford wants the 2. Doesn't use the window, and Taylor collects the miss. 85 seconds left. Carson-Newman by 2. Michael spins around Sheridan. Intent to utilize clock here. Take it down to a minute. Taylor, 8 and 7 for Alvey. Shoot pulls from deep. Bullseye! Alvey drains it, and it's a 5-point Eagle lead. A career-high 22 for Alvey, her first career 20-point game. Taylor strips Wilson going up and gets called for her 5th. 5th personal on Lindsay Taylor. 5th team foul on the Eagles. 2 free throws for Nalayo Wilson, and a chance to get it back down to a 3-point game. Wilson, 2 for 4 at the line today. The first is off the mark to the left. It will still be a 2-possession lead for Carson-Newman. Tori Rutherford telling the official, we're going to call timeout if we get the ball here. Wilson second. Barely grazes iron. Stafford collects the miss. Second chance. Sheridan from deep. Off the front of the rim. Long rebound into the corner. Stafford scooting after it. She goes 3 rows deep trying to save it in, but couldn't get there in time. What great hustle from Brittany Stafford. Willing to sacrifice her body. 47 seconds left. Carson-Newman by 5. As Wilson and Cooper swap places. And now Mike Mincy does want to utilize a timeout. So Mike Mincy burns the timeout. He will use his full timeout. Been high drama here in our second day of semifinals on the women's side. Lincoln Memorial and Wingate started us out today. The Bulldogs took control with a 13-0 run and led by 15 early in the third quarter. But then Wingate did not make a shot over the final 8:19 of that game. Lincoln Memorial rallied and had a slew of chances to take the lead, but never could get over the top in the fourth quarter. A 3 from Alexis Smitty was partially blocked at the horn, and LMU's last second heave came up short. Here in this one, it was a tight game. 1-point lead at the break for Carson-Newman, the first half that had 5 ties and 8 lead changes. And then the Eagles took control with a 13-2 run. Anderson answered the bell with a 13-3 run of its own to get it back down to a 1-point game. But it's been the Trojans here in our second game of the day who haven't found their way back on top. Inbounds comes to Braylon Weichel, who is fouled on a reach by Cooper. Her second is the team's 4th. Anderson had a foul to give. Carson-Newman will have to inbound again. Another foul, and the Eagles are shooting free throws. Knuckles inbounding, does so to Braylon Weichel. Sheridan defends her. Weichel dribbling around. Anderson brings 2 to the ball. Weichel trapped, and Mike Mincy calls for time with 19 on the shot clock. So Mike Mincy utilizes his second timeout. Anderson trying to get a steal, unable to get the pilfer. So Mike Mincy calls for time to reset things. Doing the math, Anderson is, I suppose, able to let this possession play out to try to get a stop. They've given up their foul to give, and if they do need to foul, they could. But you're counting on yourself to make a pretty quick bucket with 16 seconds left and then foul if you do let Carson-Newman play this possession out. Knuckles will inbound again for the Eagles. Goes to Alvey. Alvey dribbles around McDowell, clear sailing to the rim. The layup is no good, and then she hits the basket stanchion hard. A whistle and a foul, and it is a flagrant foul. It's on McDowell. Alvey was past her, and McDowell just shoved her from behind as she was shooting. That's the second on McDowell. We do have video review here at the SAC Women's Basketball Tournament Championship. And this is one of those reviewable situations. But I do not think the officials are going to utilize it. The flagrant free throws. Carson-Newman is going to allow Braylon Weichel to take those. And it'll be the ball for the Eagles. 2 free throws here for Braylon Weichel. She puts up the first and Conley connects. 6-point game for the Eagles. Weichel can make it a 3-possession game. A consequential foul on Diamond McDowell as Weichel makes it a 3-possession game, and Carson-Newman gets the basketball back. Eagles by 7. Knuckles gets it into Weichel. Sheridan tightly defending her. Weichel crosses over, and there's the hold by Sheridan. First on her, double bonus, 2 free throws for Braylon Weichel. At the end of the day, if Weichel does hit these both, it is still just a 3-possession game with 26.7 seconds left. Weichel connects on the first. She's got 16. Hasn't been her most efficient day, 4 of 16 from the field, but she's making some free throws down the stretch. 8 of 8 to power a 7-0 Carson-Newman run. And now Jonathan Barbary wants to talk things over. 9-point lead for the Eagles with 26.7 seconds left. Carson-Newman in control thanks to the intentional foul on Diamond McDowell, resulting in a 4-point Carson-Newman possession. Eagles utilized a 13-2 run in the third quarter to stretch a 1-point halftime lead out to 13. Credit Anderson, they responded with a 13-3 run of their own to get it down to a 1-point game. But Carson-Newman has responded anytime Anderson's gotten close. A 6-0 run to stretch it out. Trojans chipped it away, got it down to a possession again, and now the Eagles have responded with 7 straight. Out to a 9-point lead. Jonathan Barbary used his full timeout. Both coaches, Anderson's Jonathan Barbary, Carson-Newman's Mike Mincy, have a pair of 30s left. Passmore will inbound from in front of her bench. Passmore, backdoor lob, McDowell catches, lands, drops off Cooper, who lays it in and one. Ruthie Mbugwa with the harm. Her first since Cooper to the line for a potential three-point play. No Lindsey Taylor for Carson-Newman. She's fouled out in 20 minutes with 13 points. First team all-SAC performer on the bench for the remainder of this one. Cooper's and one, front of the 10, no good. Rebound tracked down by Campbell Penland in the corner with 21 seconds left, and Mike Mincy calls for time. 30-second timeout for Mike Mincy. Well, the winner of this one advances to take on second-seeded Lenoir-Rhyne tomorrow at 2:30. The Division II region rankings past 4 o'clock. Let's hit refresh. They are out. And Anderson is 4th. Carson-Newman is 5th in the latest iteration of the region rankings. So with the win, Carson-Newman is probably without question safe. A safe bet to make the NCAA tournament. With a loss for Anderson, it's a long time to wait till Sunday. Anderson had one too many players on the floor. Cooper heads out, and the Eagles are set to inbound with a 7-point lead and 21 seconds left. Inbounds comes to Penland. She's trapped. And Mike Mincy will use his final timeout. Anderson doing a nice job not fouling to at least force the Eagles to burn their final timeout. So Catawba's won. The Indians in line to host the regional. Lenoir-Rhyne has jumped up to 2 in the regional rankings. The Peach Belt's Georgia Southwestern sits in 3rd. And then 3 straight SAC schools, Anderson, Carson-Newman, and Wingate. 4 through 6. The league in position to get 5 teams in the NCAA tournament. Got to be in that top 7, though, with no Conference Carolinas team. No, I take that back. Francis Marion is regionally ranked now. Weichel dribbling around in the backcourt. Springs free up the left sideline. Still loose. Weichel trapped. Tilting around. Weichel tied up. Jump ball with 7.6 seconds left. Arrow goes to Anderson, but the Eagles were able to dribble out a solid 10 seconds there. 10 seconds coming off the clock. Just as valuable as anything else. 3-possession lead for the Eagles. Stafford picks it up and runs full court. And Jonathan Barbary will utilize the timeout with 5.5 seconds left. 5.5 seconds left, down by 7. Tough ask here for Anderson to find something. Michaela Alvey has done work for Carson-Newman, a career-high 22 points on 9 of 19 shooting. Eagles withstanding a Trojan team with 5 players in double digits, led by Ashlyn Sheridan, who has 17. Passmore, get this in. Trojans down by 7, in need of a 3. Zika curling. They'll get it to Sheridan at the head of the key for a catch 3. Sheridan misses it off to the left. Passmore grabs the rebound, fires, misses, and that's the ball game. Carson-Newman utilizes a stellar second half to move on. The Eagles prevail 82-75 over Anderson. The Trojans exit in the quarterfinal round for the first time since 2017. And the Eagles on the hunt for a 3rd tournament title in the last 6 years. 82-75 the final. Carson-Newman likely has secured a spot in the NCAA tournament with this win, while Anderson must wait until Selection Sunday. They were 4th in this last region ranking. It'll be a little bit of a wait for the Trojans to find out their NCAA tournament fate. Semifinal Thursday is set. Tomorrow at noon, Catawba and Wingate. Tomorrow at 2:30, Lenore-Rhine against Carson-Newman. All chalk so far on the women's side in the SAC tournament. We'll step aside for about a 40-minute break. Come back with men's action. It's Carson-Newman and Tusculum on the men's side. Next, this is SAC Live on Flow Sports.